ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Getting Off, because we didn't just do a show last night. Actually, yes, we did. But this is a very special episode at the request of both of my guests today, specifically from Young Kings Wrestling. He is TCF Baby. Please say the baby, TC Fontaine.
With the W.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for joining. Thank you for me joining here again. Maybe like once a quarter. I'm here to talk about something. So appreciate you guys.
Also,
I love this franchise. Thank you so much.
He is host of the She League Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd Story Time with the reigning, defending, undisputed Trick or Trivia champion, Ms. Katie Kinsey Bebe.
Champion. Hey, that's me. Hi.
And of course, for those of you who don't know, I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this is Getting Off. Not just Getting Off. Rarely do we sit down when a new horror movie drops and do a full spoiler review, but we all felt like this was warranted after going to see this. So, full spoiler review. As of now, if you have not seen Final Destination Bloodlines and you do not want spoilers, turn this the fuck off and come back after you've seen it. But that is what we are here to do today. So I guess my first question, I think I know the answer, but like, how'd you guys like the movie?
I've seen people saying it was the best one, and I'm not gonna do that to the OG. I love the OG so much. I'll never put anything over that, but I don't mind putting it after the OG. That's how good it was.
All right.
I loved it. It was fire.
See, I've seen the opposite. I saw a lot of people shitting on it before I went in.
What?
And then I watched it and I was like, this is fucking awesome and you guys are crazy.
You need to find different people to be paying attention to. Because I saw nothing but good things, like DC.
I saw a mix. I saw a mix of both, but I saw more praise than I've seen a lot of criticism. And really a lot of criticism I saw was like, we can talk about it, but I agreed with that, but that was really it. I didn't see like people shitting on the whole movie.
What was the criticism that you saw?
We can talk about it when we come to that point.
Well, let's talk about it now. We're here. What's up?
I'm honestly going to be real with you. I drew a blank once I started talking about it. Once we talk about it, it's going to hit again. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to talk about, this was obviously in honor of Tony Todd. I have spoken many times about how I've had the pleasure of meeting Tony Todd, how he is hands down the coolest celebrity I have ever met. The time that he took out to talk to me and my wife and take pictures, and just one of the sweetest people I've ever met at a meet and greet, hands down, period. So when I listened to Tony give the speech that he gave, I started tearing up in the theater. My wife's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Shut up and leave me alone." All right.
I cried.
Like, I did too.
Absolutely. Like it was sad because we all know that he is no longer with us, and the speech was very much in line with enjoy the little bit of time you have left.
Well, yeah, because it was all improvised. They let him say whatever the fuck he wanted, and he said that. And I said, well, that makes it hurt worse.
Yeah, like the fact that not only is he passed on since since this was filmed, like he clearly was sick. And so like just seeing him like that in that condition say that to you is like he's literally, especially like I didn't need the producers to confirm after the movie came out that he did that for his fans. Like I caught on to that immediately, and it's like, no, this is real. This is for the Candyman fans. This is for the Final Destination fans, bro. Like this is for y'all. And it was just like, damn, like, and then like, okay, let's move on. Let's watch some more people die afterwards.
For real.
I'm not comparing the two people because obviously they are completely different, but this felt a lot like the Ultimate Warrior speech that we got after his Hall of Fame induction and then him passing away right away.
Okay, that one was just crazy though, because that was like next day shit.
But the sentiment behind it and then what happened following it, even though we saw everything after the fact, like it felt the same, even though Tony Todd is a far better person than Ultimate Warrior ever was.
Well, that's just fact.
Tony Todd was also accepting something that was inevitably going to happen.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew Warrior was going. I don't think Warrior knew he was going to die.
He sounded like he might have known it was coming.
I mean,
he looked like he was going to die right there on the spot. Like, you see how much he was sweating?
Sure.
Well, goddamn, my math was off. Thought this was going to be. I mean, yeah, holy shit! Just a bunch
you're just out here just reading all the
comments. Well, I just looked up and I had 9 comments just sitting there. Like,
well, I want to talk about this. Crazy. So in Argentina, during the movie, the fucking roof collapsed, and one lady had her head tilted just right, or she would die. Nobody died in the.
Did anyone have a premonition before the collapse to warn everyone?
Honestly,
apparently not.
They might not have just.
Hey, listen, I would have walked the fuck out that movie. Like, bro, I'm never coming back.
Never ever or something. Yeah, my sister like tagged me in it. Like she like sent it to me on Facebook, and I was just like, "See, that would just ruin the movies for me forever," and I'd be pissed.
Yeah. While we're talking about Tony Todd, very early on, I knew exactly in the first premonition who was going to grow up to be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, me too.
And I looked at Kate and I'm like, you know that's going to grow up to be Tony Todd, right? And she's like, I'm like, yeah, no, it is. Just watch. And then I was all excited when I was right. Yeah. But I love that. I love personally with this movie the way that we so when we did our franchise review, we talked about some of the inconsistencies where his character specifically, Bludworth, comes in and he's like, oh, well, this is how to beat death. And then in a different movie, this is how to beat death. And this movie was like, there are 2 ways to beat death, both ways that he gave us. So you have 2 options. So we tied that up and just a bunch of other little things and kind of brought everything full circle. And through the Notebook, you saw all the little sketches and things. And this weaved the other 5 movies together so nicely without
specifically 2.
Without like really dragging everything in from the other movies and making it a whole lot of exposition. So I appreciated that.
You know what I also like? You know how, especially a franchise that like hadn't released a movie for decades, right? And then they drop a new one, and then they just hammer you with references to the old movies, just like, hey, remember this happened in the first movie? And like they didn't do that at all in the script at all. Like it was really subtle. The references to the previous movies is subtle shit. Like there was a real subtle Clear Rivers reference, and they did not need to just throw it at you. Hey, Clear Rivers. And I love how they did that. Like that's one specific part. Like the obvious references to Final Destination 2. There was a reference to the, I want to say, Final Destination 5's poster during the MRI scene. Like real subtle. And I love like how they did that.
I don't think I noticed that one.
I was going to say, this is going to be one of those movies that we're going to go back and we're going to watch over and over and over again and catch something new that we missed that first watch through in the theater or whatever, where you're going to see the little things that you might have missed. And it's a good movie for that because, like, as TC's saying, everything's real subtle and it connects everything just a little bit here or there without, as TC said, beating you over the head with it.
Yeah, and like the one thing that is consistent in all the Final Destination movies is the number 180. And it like took me a second to realize it, but it's the license plate. It's like FL, like it's like Flight 180, but it's like a license plate, and it's very clever and it's very quick. And I was like, you bastards, because I was looking the whole movie for like the actual numbers, and then I remembered like after the fact, I was like, God damn it, they did it in the beginning, before the premonition, which makes it even better.
I couldn't remember for the life of me where I knew her from, but Breck Basinger, who was the woman who had the premonition in the beginning of the movie. Iris, yeah. She was Stargirl, and we did all the Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow stuff. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, where the fuck do I know her from? And she was from Stargirl. And I was like, okay, now I remember where the fuck I know you from. But Iris was great.
Oh, yeah.
Insane opening premonition of everything. What did they not notice as they're dancing on the floor that it's cracking underneath them?
Yeah, that's my thing. One, I would never be there. Like, one, I was surprised the number of black people who were there in like 1950 something.
Yeah,
but like, I would have never been there. That wouldn't have been my thing.
No,
not the glass floor looking over like 70 feet of nothingness. Like, hell no.
I also could not have been happier when that little kid got killed.
No, honestly, fuck that little kid. And you know what's funny? When she gets the book and she like has everything and like everyone who died and like their families and blah 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 blah. That kid got, and I think it was like a car accident or something, and it was a truck carrying a piano, and the piano killed him.
Nice.
So good. Haha. Well, fuck. That's the one person I wanted to die the entire movie, and I'm happy that we got confirmation.
And I was actually really happy he died in a premonition. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I was very excited for that. Mm-hmm. The piano killed in premonition too.
Yeah.
With the fucking penny falling and hitting that woman and all that. That whole thing was crazy.
The fucking penny.
Bro.
DC tweeted at me before I saw the movie just a picture of the penny. And I was like, oh shit. And then that's all I was thinking about the entire time. And now I can't. And now they're not going to be making pennies anymore as of like next year or some shit. It's like they watched Final Nation. Yeah.
Yeah. They're out of circulation.
Yeah.
I mean, like they'll probably still accept them. But they're not like reproducing anymore ever.
Yeah.
Weird.
But it was just like very weird timing that all happened after I saw this movie. So.
Part of me thought because she saved the penny, like she took the penny and she saved it, she had it. Like I thought because it was in the book and she had the book with her, like maybe it was a lucky penny, maybe that's what was keeping her alive. And when they lost the penny, like I thought that was gonna be a thing. It did not end up really being a thing, though the penny did come back to just cause havoc all over the place, including the end of the movie.
Damn pennies.
Another Final Destination 2 reference too.
Yep.
A lot of logs in this movie.
Yeah.
TC, you have an MRI machine behind you.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite kill of the movie. Now, I saw it powering up, and I was looking at all of his piercings, and I knew it was going to happen. And when I saw the nipple piercings, I was like, okay, that's funny. I did not, for the life
the dick ring.
I did not expect that until it happened, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god, that is hilarious!"
That's terrible.
Like, was the last thing I expected. Like the nipple rings, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." Not at all in my head was I thinking he was gonna have a fucking cock ring and that it was gonna get sucked out too.
I mean,
like, I wasn't surprised because like it made sense. I was like, "Oh yeah, of course he has one of those."
Oh yeah, Eric was the best character.
Dog, he was hilarious.
He
and his little brother for about 10 seconds mulled over killing a baby.
Yeah,
literally, which is insane. And the fact that like we watched they released like the scene in the tattoo parlor, and everyone was like, "Damn, that's probably like the first kill of the movie." And then we got pump fake twice.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite part about that scene was? Like, once he came back to life after they've already excluded the fact that he's not part of the design, and then like, oh shit, now he's part of the design now.
So that's what I was going to talk about. So when they did go and when they went to talk to Iris, and Iris gave her granddaughter the book and was like, "Hey, this is how you survive," and they realized what was going on, and they found out who JB was, which is the character played by Tony Todd, and they went to go see him, and he did his whole speech. And we talked about how there are two ways to survive, which were mentioned in previous movies. In 2, they said you have to die and be brought back, and it will break the chain.
Yeah.
And in 5, if you take a life, you get the remaining years of the person that you killed, which then led to them being like, "Oh, we couldn't kill someone," and then looking at a baby. Because they're like, you never know how long anyone has to live anyway, but they're newborns there, you know. But no, they couldn't do it. And that was hilarious.
Good.
And I felt so bad for laughing as hard as I did in the theater at them contemplating murdering a child.
That's not shocking.
But no, that was fantastic. Like I said, and that tied up all those inconsistencies of like, well, I thought this was the only way or this was the only way. No, there are two ways, and they've both been mentioned, and these are it. Fucking figure it out. But you said Eric specifically survives the tattoo parlor scene that everyone saw and blah, 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 because he is not actually part of the family. Mom had a little extramarital affair, and he didn't find out until after he was mourning the death of his dad that wasn't really his dad.
Which,
while his sister is dead.
That's that scene when he finds out and he's like, is that why he always wanted to play catch? I was cracking the fuck up. Like, it's terrible. What a terrible way to find out that your dad is not your dad. Like,
it was wild. He looked like the dude that played his dad though, which was the crazy part.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they did really good with like the casting of everyone.
Man.
Just so I can actually start saying names, I'm pulling up IMDb here. So Eric's sister Julia was supposed to be second according to Death's Design, as Stephanie figured it out. Mm-hmm. So they thought Eric was next, and they were trying to save him. And obviously, he wasn't family, so it skipped him and went to Julia. And that's how all of this kind of broke down and got figured out when Eric's mom's like, "Yeah, you know, I can't remember what the fuck the guy's name was, but it was apparently a neighbor or some shit."
Yeah, it was like a neighbor, which is just so funny. That's what I'm saying. Like this movie did a really good job of like balancing crazy story, gore, and comedy. Like it did it very well.
It's probably the best plot, I think, in all 6 movies.
Yeah.
I loved like the idea of it like going from like generations, like multiple generations, and just like I can't get over the premonition in the beginning. I think it's my favorite premonition by far.
But like, okay, here's the thing. I remember what I didn't really understand. So you remember in number 2, the pregnant woman, and they think like when she gives birth to her baby, we're all going to be okay. That totally, like, this plot negates that whole thing.
Well, it's because she wasn't.
Or did they ever explain
she wasn't in the pileup.
Well, the concept of new life, you know, ending the whole thing.
That's the original thing they think, because when they talk to Bloodworth in 2.
Okay, so in 2, the pregnant woman wasn't part of Death's Design, so her bringing a life into the world that wasn't supposed to be there didn't factor in, because when they go through and they do like a second or third review of the premonition, she actually pulled over and she's standing on the side watching the pileup. So she was never supposed to die, and the baby was never supposed to die. So it wasn't really a new life, because that baby, they weren't supposed to die. So they weren't creating a new life in that sense.
So they were just wrong about their theory.
They were wrong about their theory in 2, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why then she ended up having to go into the lake and then be brought back with paddles, which is very important because they casually just drop in there that Charlie is a junior lifeguard in like a little bit of exposition, and then just kind of let that go. And then we get to the point to where his sister drowns.
Yeah, very much like Kimberly in 2.
And he revives her, and you're like, okay, same thing as Kimberly in 2. Katie said pump faked, you know. They brought her back. She's okay.
A lot of pump fakes in this movie.
Man.
Only for the end of the movie to be like, well, you didn't actually die. Like, if you passed out and he brought you back to consciousness, but CPR wouldn't bring you back to life if you had actually died, which again, they had to use paddles on Kimberly in 2 to jumpstart her heart.
And then that,
which was the fuck movie moment.
The fucking smart ass doctor pissed me off too. Like, don't say that to me like that.
Well, actually, you didn't die. Fuck.
I'd have been like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
It was too late.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the ending is, we talked about the logs, but it's also kind of a throwback to 3 with the trail derailment.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to talk about that. I need to go back and rewatch this. I should have paid closer attention. I am no expert in trains whatsoever. However, if the railroad tracks that I saw in the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie are the same railroad tracks, that is a hand-thrown switch. That is not an automatic switch, and there was no one there to throw the switch. Therefore, the penny should not have gotten locked in there. Like, that's not how that works. But I got to go double check and see if maybe they had updated it.
It is a Final Destination movie, my guy. Let it happen.
No. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No train expert whatsoever, though, at all.
Not this guy.
But I do like that they had that little tease in the beginning, too. They go over the railroad tracks. You see the railroad tracks. They show the hand-thrown switch and all that. And then it's like, oh, this isn't... Because I thought this was going to be a train accident. I'm like, oh, fuck.
No.
Yeah, I'm not going back to work on Monday.
It also just like confirmed that, like, in my dream world, like, Wendy survived at the end of 3, and then they said, hell no, Kimberly is the only known survivor. I was like,
people
fuck.
really think Wendy didn't die in it?
In my like soul, I kind of just wanted her to survive because I liked Wendy, but I mean, I knew deep
Wendy
down
was
that
the
they
best
all died.
Everybody too.
Yeah. Somebody put together like everyone's like face after they see their premonition, and then whoever the fuck it is in 4, he's just like no reaction, nothing. Just like
about that.
Like you just watched everyone in that place and your girlfriend die and you explode, but no, you have no reaction to that. It's crazy.
I also remember seeing something when the first teaser dropped with the broken glass, people being like, oh, this is so unbelievable because I work in a bar and you'd automatically dump the ice if glass broke, this and that. And then we found out that it was someone's backyard barbecue, which is why the ice didn't get dumped and all of that. But the lawnmower kill, far more crazy on screen than it was in the trailer. I thought we watched the Red Band trailer. I don't think we did because this was way worse.
No,
I did not watch the trailer, so like none of these, I went in blind on this.
I only saw the tattoo scene.
You didn't see the...
I did. I refused. I only saw the tattoo thing with you for getting off. So it was the teaser.
Oh. Those were the only 2 things I saw was the uncle's death with this, with the broken glass and kind of how all that played out, and then the tattoo scene, which again, pump fake, was not a death. He somehow survived with minor burns.
It was his leather jacket that saved him.
I also love that he got dad tattooed on his arm and then it wasn't his dad.
Like, that sucks, dude. Eric, I'm telling you, he was the best.
Bobby, poor Bobby, his brother made him eat peanuts and go into anaphylactic shock.
Poor
and then
Bobby.
He couldn't get to... he did get to his EpiPen. But then he had his brains blown out by a spring.
Which... There's a reason they tell you not to shake those things.
When that spring first popped out, I just sat back like, oh, fuck. Because you know what's going to happen. You know this is about to factor into something.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be that, like, and then it just, like, started rotating in his brain. Like, come on.
Which is disrespectful. Like...
I'm not huge on 3D movies, but like that scene in particular, I was like, I kind of wanted to see that in 3D.
Yeah.
Ew.
Just have the spring flying at you part, not the... Yeah.
Well, Final Destination already has a 3D movie, and it's awful.
I know, that's why I said,
So they said, we're not doing this shit again.
I feel like 3Ds had to have gotten better by now.
I don't know. I don't go to see the 3D movies because, like, gotta put
those
the glasses
are like $20.
And they're also expensive. Yeah. Fuck that.
Let's talk about Iris's house, because the entire time I'm sitting there looking at this,
hey, I want to live here. They look fire.
But so here's my thing, right? All she did was create 1,000 more ways for her to possibly trip, fall, and kill herself should she ever walk outside. Like, what is she? Death is not a physical thing that's going to get impaled by the 40 fucking spikes that you have stuck in your yard or the like. What was she keeping out?
Well, I mean, I think for like the like pots and stuff hanging or whatever, like that's like death's presence. Like when those things start moving, that makes sense. That one I'll give Iris that one. But I mean, she did have her book, and like the fire extinguisher was written in the book, so like she probably did all that and wrote down every single way she could possibly die, and knew that one of them was gonna happen.
The weather vane was also on there too. But what I'm saying is, like, she built that gate. She had the barbed wire. She had all the fucking, I can't think what they're called, but the fucking spiked. I
know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Medieval fucking blockades.
Like, yeah.
Did you realize she died the same way she did in her premonition? Getting impaled.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't in was the vision also in the face?
Yeah. It looked like she deep throated that spike when she fell. Hey, we're getting off here, all right?
I know. Yeah, then that tracks. Maybe that's kind of just something that happened. Like we talked about the little boy who got crushed to death by the piano in the premonition and then died by piano somehow later in life. Maybe that's kind of just how it all happened. Like the teasers we get in the first movie, like Terry standing in front of a poster of a bus and like just subtle shit like that.
Didn't she also say that her husband died later, but kind of in the same way that he died in her premonition?
I recall that too.
I feel like I
can't remember how. Yeah, I can't remember how she said he died. Damn it.
Speaking of her premonition, the fucking wedding ring before she fell and the skinning of the finger, that was,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That hurt. That hurt me.
Yeah. Ugh.
I hate when you can like feel it on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the body.
I just had like, yo.
Yeah, no, it's a full body reaction. Just like I literally just took my rings off because we were just talking about it. So I was like, no, thank you. I can't have them on right now.
That's why I wear this. It's
I'm not married. These are just for fiddling.
No, I'm saying it's silicone, so that won't happen. This will rip before my skin rips.
Or they're gonna rip at the same time.
Also, Julia's death was just absolutely ridiculous because we're walking with Eric, and she's like, "Watch out for the tree trimmer," and he's like, "Well, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna fall?" And she goes, "Well, it could fall and then hit the leaf blower, and he could blow leaves into the kid's eyes, and then they can hit you with a soccer ball." And he's like, "Oh, death by getting hit with a soccer ball." And then Julia goes jogging down the street, and that exact scenario plays out.
Yep.
She gets hit in the head, falls into a trash can, and then poor Stephanie is trying to pull her out as the compactor just...
This dude's just on Tinder, just swiping away.
Yeah. Like,
while you picking up trash. Come on, son.
Like, you're driving.
I took that person too well. 90K channel points in his
90K channel points. That's crazy. No, that was disrespectful. But also very funny that it happened exactly how Steph said it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even, that was just, again, her piecing the puzzle together, which is probably what Iris had been, like you guys talked about, she wrote those things down. Mm-hmm. It almost felt like she told Stephanie to back up, like she knew what was going to happen before it happened. So I wasn't sure if she was having premonitions of all these things and then writing them down, or if she had just kind of slowly looked at the combination of things and pieced them together. But it was like she knew that weather pane, because she looked at that, she looked at the weather pane, it's like she knew it was going to hit her from the back.
Mm-hmm. Which is just, I mean, she spent how many years in that house? Like, you just be thinking.
Mm-hmm.
This was very Laurie Strode in Halloween, ruined relationships from past trauma.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Steph's mom, like, basically left all of them because she didn't want to become Iris, so... Which her death was very unfortunate. That sucked.
Man.
I'm surprised she survived the explosion to save Charlie.
Yeah.
I was not expecting her to get up looking like Two-Face and help him get out from being crushed.
She looked like Two-Face. So I saw something that apparently she was supposed to, I think it was her, the revolving door. She was supposed to die in the revolving door.
Oh.
So I think they just changed it. I don't know. I saw something about it. I wasn't 100% certain, but the way they like teased the revolving door made it seem like someone was gonna get stuck in it.
Well, Bobby and Eric's whole interaction from the time that they realized that Bobby was next, and just the caution, even with the revolving door and everyone going through it, and Bobby just like being afraid of the revolving door, was all the way through the hospital. All of that was probably the best part of the movie. And I'm sad that Eric went, because Eric was fun.
Eric was the best. I love Bobby. He was just like, I don't want to die. He was just like a little puppy dog. He was just like, he was just there. He didn't want to be a part of this.
Poor Paco. Who's going to take care of Paco now?
Well, nobody.
The mom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Their mom, yeah. I guess.
She did live.
Steph's dad, I guess.
Steph's dad. Listen, Steph's dad didn't even really need to be in this movie. He served no real purpose, and I do not see him being the kind of guy to be like, let me take care of my dead wife's nephew's turtle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Steph and Charlie had it before the prom. And then, obviously, all that happened. Which I will say, my one gripe I have with this movie is, yeah, they thought they beat it. But you're telling me, like, they didn't get any type of inclination, any type of premonition before all that happened? You know? It just, like, it seemed like something... Or I saw someone say that it would have been cool if, like, Charlie had a premonition of, like, a prom disaster very similar to, like, the beginning of the movie. Or something. Like, the train derailment kind of just like, came out of nowhere.
We've seen it in different movies, right? Where we've seen people get little flashes of a premonition. We've seen people have full premonitions or just see, like, certain things. And then in, like, Stephanie's case, we've seen people just kind of, like, look around and, like, Devin Sawa in the first movie. He would just kind of look around and be like, oh, shit, this is all dangerous, and kind of piece it together, you know, after his original premonition. So she wasn't having premonitions this whole movie. She was just analyzing
something
mathematically, because apparently she was really good at math, even though she was failing math in college because she couldn't sleep. Probabilities of what could happen. And she stopped doing that when she thought they beat it. Like, she wasn't looking for the signs anymore. But when Charlie's prom date came out looking like Iris.
Prom date came out looking like Iris. A red car, very much like their car in the beginning, drove by.
Apparently it was the same train tracks.
Yeah. Like, same train track. Like, you gotta go. You should have left as soon as you saw her. Y'all should have been gone. No second guessing. Y'all should have left.
Did they know that there was the same? I mean, I'm sure they would, but, like, I don't think they're paying that close attention, especially if they think they've already cheated it. It's like back of their mind, like, yeah, we cheated death. We're not worried about it no more. We've compartmentalized it. We moved on.
I don't know. I feel like that's
the train tracks weren't even really a factor in, like, what happened. I don't even think they know that Grandma drove over those train tracks. Like, that was a little.
I think that was a part of the premonition that, or like the dream, I guess Steph has.
Maybe, yeah. Well, no, because I don't know. Because Iris's premonition doesn't start until she's inside.
Yeah, I guess that's where it gets like, what exactly is Steph's dream first? Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. All right, touche. Got me.
Is she dreaming the whole thing, or is she just dreaming the premonition part that Iris was having? You know?
Yeah.
So, because Iris's premonition started at the proposal. That's the other thing. Iris was pregnant, found out she was pregnant, sat down and talked to JB's mom, and got a little advice about, do you love him, and blah blah blah. Even though we're not married and I'm pregnant, I don't know if he's going to want me. Meanwhile, he was gearing up to propose and did, and that was the happiest and worst day of her life all in one.
Yeah, terrible time.
All bad.
All bad.
All bad.
I know we all got to get out of here and get ready for Battleground, or at least me and Katie do, because we're covering it right after the show ends. You guys got anything else we didn't touch on from this movie you guys want to mention? I mean, like for me, the three big things were the continuity errors that we cleaned up, Tony Todd, and the dick piercing and the MRI machine. So
the little things in life.
Shout out to that flower pot that was on that rope.
Oh yeah.
And I figured it would. And that's another one of my favorite things about these movies is it's like something can happen early on in a movie and you might not think about it. And then you get to the point later on, it's just like, oh shit, somebody's about to die.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Tony Todd.
Real.
R.I.P. Tony Todd. Katie's thinking.
I am thinking. I'm trying to think if there's anything we didn't talk about that I wanted to talk about.
So just, I guess something that's very important that I guess we should have mentioned if it wasn't clear. Everyone that has died in every single movie leading up to this is a descendant of somebody who survived the initial restaurant catastrophe that Iris stopped. So everyone on Flight 180, all of the premonitions, and everyone as we went down the road from 1 through 5 were all descendants of the original people that were supposed to die in the restaurant collapse that did not happen.
Like every single person?
Every single person that Flight 180, the highway, all of that was all meant to get the relatives and descendants of the people that should not be alive because the people in this original tragedy survived. So Iris started the whole chain of events that led to the whole other 5 movies happening.
It's like 400 something people have died like within the universe. I don't think it was 400 people in that restaurant.
That is what was implied through the book and that whole timeline she had spread across the wall of all of these tragedies. The major tragedies and the people that were killed in those tragedies were meant to get the descendants and family members. But you also have to remember, death is messy. So the people that have also tried to stop or prevent or help death coming for people also
what happened to Eric?
Casualties like Eric. So
like even if like the little boy with the piano, like as an adult, for instance, like he wasn't a part of any of those accidents.
No, they weren't.
About him.
Well, they weren't. But what he's saying is like they weren't a part of like the Flight 180 or the traffic thing, like, which I think it was what Iris did was just found everyone who was there, and they all died in weird tragic events. They weren't all like Flight 180 or all like 2 or 3. They just all died in very random tragic accidents.
But everyone that was in the previous 5 movies was in some way, shape, or form supposedly related to someone that survived the restaurant that was supposed to die. So the way she made it sound was Death was going through and clearing the timeline of people that shouldn't exist because these people survived. Now, not every tragedy featured every single person, but those tragedies were clearing the scales. And there may be other people in there as well, but they were directed to get rid of people that were not supposed to exist due to their relatives being in the restaurant, was the implication that I got from that.
Yeah, because
so does that include like Alex and Clear and all them? So like they technically cheated it twice within their bloodline?
I don't know. Like, because so like what Matt is saying isn't explicitly said that like Flight 180, the traffic, that's
implied.
It's implied. It's not specifically said. So it's kind of just us theorizing, which I mean, it would technically make sense. Because why did Death just randomly be like, hey, go fuck these kids and just kill all these people? So, like, it makes sense. I do kind of wish we had, like, a little clearer.
I feel like also, Death just be choosing shit to just do, like, for fun anyway. Like, they was going to do it anyway. Yeah. Flight 180 was going to happen regardless if the Skyview happened.
Actually, Flight 180 only happened... Flight 180 only happened because the people from 5 got on the flight.
Yes.
Death was trying to get them. So what may have happened, per this theorizing, is that maybe one of those two were a descendant, and this was Death's way of getting rid of them by taking, the bridge down. They survived the bridge, like you said, now technically cheated Death twice because in their bloodline. And then he took down 180 to make sure it happened, and now somebody on 180 then escaped, and it was all just kind of a tumble down from there.
So in other words, Death just be like, oh fuck, I know I gotta do this. Like,
yeah. Well, Death's apparently done because Charlie and Steph get crushed to death by logs in the very end of the movie. So
goddamn log.
And then, JB is the very last one who, should die.
Yeah. Which, like, we have to, like, kind of just assume that eventually happens, but...
Did they ever mention if he had any family?
See, this is where I was going with this. I thought about this the other day. They can do a sequel with his family. But, like, unlike Iris's family, his family, they already know the rules, and they've been preparing for the day that he dies. So like,
I saw somebody tweet that too, that like if we get another movie, it could be Bloodworth's bloodline. Yeah.
Well, I was also thinking about this because we do all these questions for Creation Conversation. I was trying to figure out how to phrase it, but I was like, we need an all-black cast Final Destination movie.
Also, because we don't get no black people in there, and the black people we do get are assholes.
So, like, my question is, where would a group of black people congregate that we could have this kind of catastrophe setting for a Final Destination movie?
I'm apparently you asking me this question. Okay.
I'm asking the group.
I'm just trying to think. Because you need it to be on like a big scale, like is the thing.
Well, I was thinking family reunion. I was thinking family reunion.
Yeah, I was like,
you don't want to wipe out the whole bloodline. Yeah. But if the goal is to go through the bloodline, I guess it would work if the goal is to go through the bloodline and get them all at a family reunion.
That's crazy. Not a family reunion.
At his repast, after he passes away, after his funeral.
Yeah.
That shit could just spring into motion immediately. Like, all right, niggas, I'm here. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know what it is. But like, I also feel like because he was so kind, he didn't try to cheat death after the Skyview thing. His whole life was committed to telling people about the design and not,
which is, literally his whole life was telling people how to cheat death, which I feel like would have really pissed Death off.
But I think it's like he didn't give them.
He was all the way at the end. As long as Iris was alive, he was good. So like he had a lot of buffer. But he's also like, fuck you, Death. Here's how you beat him.
I look at it like maybe not in that case where it's like you're trying to help these. We're just letting them know, like, hey, fam, like, if you can do it, go ahead. But like, listen, he ain't about to, like, Death ain't about to let that go down. Like, you just really just like, hey, you can do it if you want to. Go ahead. This is how you do it. If you successful at it, then cool. But like, I'm not gonna overstep what I'm doing here. And Death was probably like, you know what, respect. I'm gonna just let the cancer take you out. I ain't even gonna let it rock. Like, all right. You don't even gotta worry about getting hit by a bus or nothing, homie. You've done good.
Well, that's how, I mean, Iris said, even though Death got her anyway, that cancer finally got her, so Death was going to get her regardless.
Yeah.
And same thing with John being sick. So, all right. I think that's it. We got like 10 minutes before Battleground.
Hey, let's get this all black Final Destination cast going though.
You know what? You and I'm going to talk to Travis. I'm going to try and get you on, and maybe we'll try and cast an all black Final Destination movie.
Okay.
I think that'll be fun.
We got to have Loretta Devine.
If I can convince Travis, that is correct.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 years, man. Come on.
My boy knows how to hold a grudge. I don't know what to say. But anyway, TC, Young Kings Wrestling. You guys have a show dropping tomorrow? New one?
Yes, we do. Don't worry about it. We did not take the holiday off. So yeah, tomorrow, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, all that good stuff. YKWrestling.com, at YK Wrestling everywhere. And hey, get you some W. Bam.
Okay.
Katie.
You can follow me on Twitter, KatieRowson13, link to about to say everything She Lead Showcase, twitch.tv/She Lead Showcase, and youtube.com/She Lead Showcase. Typically Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern-ish. I don't know about the time now because Rylan hit me up about doing something on Thursday. So now I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But She Lead's going to be live Thursday at some time. I don't know what yet. I don't know what time yet.
If it's Thursday, it's going to be later Thursday. It's not going to be during the She Lead time.
Yeah, I know, but like, I don't know how much time. I don't know. I got to figure it out. Because we were going to have to move time back for Savannah, so we were going to go at like 7:30. So I don't know.
Hey, if you guys subscribe, you'll know. You'll get notified when she goes live. Like, subscribe, follow, do all those things, and you'll know. You won't have to wonder. Also, me, at Matt Ritter, there's at MATTRIDDR for your wrestling content, at Getting Off this show for your horror content everywhere else. TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Smacking It Raw. All the places you can find me. Most importantly, you can find me and Katie and Vince 15 minutes after Battleground goes off air to smash or pass both Battleground and the show that I'm not watching, but I will check the results for AEW Double or Nothing.
Because it'll still be going on as we record.
More than likely.
Yeah, I was going to say, this show's not going to be over.
By a long shot.
I'm actually curious as to how some of these matches are going to turn out, though, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on it.
For TC Fontaine and Ms. Katie Kinsey Bebe, I am the Patron Center Podcast and the Word Matt Ritter, and you have gotten off.